Hi there, welcome back to the cordless vacuum guide. Over the past few weeks, I've been testing and reviewing auto-empty robot vacuums. And continuing my series, I'll be comparing two brands that pioneered the rise of self-emptying robots, Shark and Roomba. Specifically, we'll be looking at the Shark IQ XL, Roomba i6 Plus, and the Roomba S9 Plus. I've spent many hours testing these robots, putting them through a grueling series of tests to determine the best option for your needs. There's a lot to unpack, so let's get into it. iRobot was actually the first to successfully mass-produce a self-emptying robot when they unveiled the i7 Plus. Other brands have tried, like this Ecovacs D-Bot D76, but none has had the success of the Roomba i7 Plus during that period. It's by far one of the more popular auto-empty robots based on the number of reviews and ratings in online stores. According to spectrum.ieee.org, iRobot has had its patent since 2007, so development took more than a decade. The i6 Plus is a variation of the i7 Plus with a slightly different color scheme and accessories included out of the box. But everything under the hood stays the same, including the motor, battery, extractors, and side brushes. The Roomba S9 Plus is the only iRobot product with a D-shape, enabling them to fit in wide 9-inch plus extractors and relocate the side brush to a more optimal position at the front right corner. These upgrades improve the S9 Plus cleaning performance, making it the best-in-class vacuuming robot I've tested. I'm not sure if iRobot will release an update to the S9 Plus since their new product, the J7 Plus, reverts to the round frame seen in older Roomba products. The Shark IQ is the first budget self-emptying robot vacuum to challenge the Roomba i7 Plus and S9 Plus. Unfortunately, early IQ releases had issues with map creation since it didn't have any floor tracking sensor. The updated version seems to rectify this issue with the optical sensor right here. But you'll have to do your part and make sure that the area is well lit since this robot relies on a camera. One way is to open all doors and remove any roadblocks that may hinder the map creation process. It took only one run for the Shark IQ to create this map, which is excellent in my opinion. But your mileage may vary depending on the size and layout of your home. It may take longer to map out large homes with a runtime limitation of just 60 minutes. Don't expect ladder-like precision and efficiency, as the maps you'll get from these robots aren't as accurate as lidar robots. I'll talk about navigation in detail in another video coming out soon. All three have self-emptying docks, adding a layer of convenience for consumers since it empties the dustbin for you after every run. However, the similarity ends there. iRobot's auto-empty base station has a ramp where the port is located and the robot sits. As the robot parks itself on the ramp, a second motor kicks in and empties the dustbin contents into a bag. iRobot doesn't specify the exact volume, but I'm estimating it at 2.5 liters since it looks similar to the Yeti Vac Station bag. Shark's auto-empty dock doesn't have a ramp but relies on a vertical port on both the robot and dock. Since it doesn't have a ramp, using it on carpet may cause alignment issues with both ports. One workaround would be using an accessory like the Shark mat sold by Shark. Shark also has a bagless system with a 1.8 liter capacity. It's the only one so far, at least from what I've tested, that's bagless. Though the Roomba S7 Plus does have a bagless option in specific markets like Europe. One advantage of a bagless system is there's no need to purchase bags continually, which is a money saver over the long term. But you'll still have to clean and eventually replace those filters in the base station, though the intervals won't be as frequent as replacing bags. The downside to a bagless system is the potential spills, especially detaching it from the dock. There's also exposure to allergens as you empty it, so that's the compromise you'll have to take opting for a bagless system. Out of the three options, the Roomba i6 Plus and Shark IQ have a round frame. Shark has a thinner frame, measuring 12.8 inches versus the i6's 13.34 inches. It also has a lower profile at 3.5 inches, while the Roomba i6 Plus is a tad taller at 3.63 inches, thanks to this IR sensor. Only the Roomba S9 Plus has a D-shaped frame, with the narrowest width at 12.6 inches. But despite the narrower stance, it has the widest cleaning path, close to 10 inches. It's wider than any robot vacuum I've tested outside the NitoBot vac. These counter-rotating extractors are a huge reason why the Roomba S9 Plus vacuums debris well. Along with the wider cleaning path, another upgrade iRobot put in is the redesigned side brush. Instead of the 3-prong setup of the i6 Plus, it now has a shorter 5-prong design. It also doesn't spin as fast, eliminating the dirt scattering issue with earlier Roomba models. The S9 Plus also has the largest dustbin capacity at 500 milliliters, which loads from the top. In comparison, the Shark IQ and Roomba i6 Plus have the same volume at 400 milliliters, which loads from the back. Not that bin volume matters with the self-emptying feature, but it's something to think about if you're buying these without it. All models utilize V-SLAM or Visual SLAM, so these robots rely on a top-mounted camera, floor tracking sensors, and SLAM for navigation. All will navigate in straight lines. The difference is that Roomba products will take the longer path from end to end, while Shark takes the shortest route. The Shark IQ was the fastest, taking 18 minutes to complete the run, but considering it only had a one-pass run, it wasn't very efficient. The Roomba i6 Plus took around 31 minutes to finish based on a retest I did, while the Roomba S9 Plus was the least efficient at 32 minutes. Factoring in how much debris it vacuums per pass, the Roomba S9 Plus is the clear winner as it made the cleanest passes, thanks to the wide extractors and high airflow. Speaking of which, the Roomba S9 Plus tops the airflow tests, maxing out at 25 CFM in the highest setting. It's the highest airflow score so far out of all the robot vacuums I've reviewed. The Shark IQ was decent, but lags behind the S9 at 18.87 CFM, while the Roomba i6 Plus had the lowest results at 8.2 CFM. Cleaning test scores somewhat reflect the airflow results, as the S9 Plus had the best results across the board. It was the best vacuuming robot on hard floors, carpet, and deep cleaning tests. Between these three robots, it's the best option purely for vacuuming purposes. The eye tests confirmed the measured tests, as the S9 Plus had the cleanest passes. If you look closely, it didn't leave sand residue on the roller assembly after the deep cleaning test. The next best option is the Roomba i6 Plus, despite having the lower airflow. It was better than the Shark IQ because these rubber extractors offer better agitation, plus dirt detect that does extra passes when it senses more dirt. The Shark IQ is still a decent option, but the lack of agitation hurts it on carpet. Another benefit of the S9 square front is edge cleaning, where it was the best. The Shark IQ was the worst, which is the biggest downside of the slow spinning side brushes. The Roomba S9 Plus is also the best overall at cleaning hair, combining the scores from the 5-inch and 7-inch tests. Again, the wide extractors and high airflow are significant reasons why it did well. The Roomba i6 Plus and Shark IQ were close with the 5-inch test, but the i6 Plus was better with longer 7-inch strands. These results were disappointing for me, as I expected more from Shark's self-cleaning brush roll. It has these combs that supposedly untangle hair, which it did during the 5-inch test, but it couldn't remove hair from longer 7-inch strands. The brush roll actually bogged down and stopped, flashing an error code with all the hair wrapping on it. So there's a limit with what the Shark IQ self-cleaning brush can untangle. The Roomba i6 Plus and Shark IQ are the quieter options, with a 64.5 and 64.8 decibel reading in the sound meter test, while the Roomba S9 Plus is the loudest, maxing out at 74.1 decibels. There isn't much difference in runtime between the three. The Shark IQ has the shortest at 60 minutes, while the Roomba i6 Plus and S9 Plus run a bit further at 75 minutes. All three options have smartphone apps, unlocking all the features. That's why none of these have a remote out of the box. Features will vary though. None of these have a live map, so all you'll see while these robots are running is a robot graphic, plus other information. The iRobot app does have a mapping run, meaning it will run with the vacuum motor shut off to extend the range, with the sole purpose of creating the map. The Shark Clean app doesn't have this feature, so you'll have to remove any obstacles that could hinder the map creation process. The iRobot app can save up to 10 map levels, while the Shark Clean app can only save 1 map. Both have selective room cleaning, but only the iRobot app has savable zone cleaning boxes that users can draw for quick access to areas needing more frequent cleaning. Containment is also available for both the iRobot and Shark Clean apps for blocking off-limit areas. But neither has the invisible wall feature present in lidar-based robots like Roborock. Lastly, for this section is scheduling. Consumers can schedule runs to automate the process, taking full advantage of the self-emptying feature. Unfortunately, Shark Clean app users will have to make do with scheduling only 1 run per day in the morning, afternoon, or evening. I initially thought multiple runs were possible, but it isn't, so I hope Shark improves upon this limitation. In comparison, the iRobot app can schedule multiple runs per day with a minimum gap of 3 hours in between. Users can also take advantage of iRobot's automation feature, like automating runs if the app detects you leaving home. To conclude this comparison, choosing between the Shark IQ, Roomba i6 Plus, and S9 Plus will boil down to your preferences and how much you're willing to spend. I'd recommend the Roomba S9 Plus to folks who value cleaning performance above anything else and not mind paying a premium for it. Realize though that the S9 Plus has its limitations, mainly the shortened runtime if you use the max setting, limiting its range. The Roomba i6 Plus and Shark IQ are good, less expensive alternatives, each with its own advantages. The Shark IQ is the cheaper option with a more compact base station that's easy to move around thanks to the handle. Its bagless system is a money saver in the long term since there is no bag to replace. But there are limitations, specifically with its navigation and app. It only has a single pass run, and the app can only schedule a max of 1 run per day. The Roomba i6 Plus is more expensive, but it has a more thorough navigation. Plus the iRobot app can save more maps and has zone cleaning. Let me know which of these robots you'd choose in the comments section below. Or share your experience with any of these robots if you've used any of them. Consider giving this video a thumbs up if it's been helpful to you. Subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified for future comparisons like this. Links are in the description for more information. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.